Hello, and welcome to our CARE Team Technology Training. So, we are going to cover the Microsoft Teams suite and how we plan on using it to help our CARE teams coordinate and collaborate on meal trains. So, just a quick tour. The first thing that you will be added to is CARE Bat Signal. And so, with this particular thread, the thing to know is that this is going to be a push notification to everybody on the team. So we want to be very mindful of all of the notifications that our volunteers are digesting within a day. And so don't use this unless you want to do a push notification to everybody, but also when you can use our other modes of communication through our channels, which we will be covering in a bit, in a little bit. So if we head on over to the left side of the screen, you're going to see an icon called Teams. And as you are getting introduced to this technology, this icon actually doesn't appear until we add you into our organization. So after you've been properly added, you will see this icon. So you will click that icon, and when you come into this space, you will see this, what it is called is a team, and you will see these channels underneath that team. And so when you look at the general channel, a channel is essentially a space for collaboration with some additional functionality like spokes that go right around that particular collaboration. But for the general channel, it is a space to do team introductions, announcements, mostly from a top down point of view for communication. So within that particular channel, feel free to comment, welcome other folks that come into our team, and use that to welcome people, essentially. The next space is training, questions, and help. So that's a space to ask questions. And one key differentiator is that you're not asking questions specifically about a family, but you are asking questions maybe more generically about the process. Or right here, we have a question about a meal drop time change. How do I do that if that were to happen? And so, as the thread, somebody might respond before I get there, but a leader might respond. And what we would do is we would actually comment or reply within the thread so that that question is actually answered within that thread. And we can have multiple threads going on. So there could be another question like, I think this question came up last session is, does anybody know how to cook gluten free? And so people can post recipes and keep the conversation topic specific within the thread. So you're not posting a thread every single time you are commenting within here. So within the next type of channel, we have we have a channel per family. So if you think about each meal train that we deploy, we will have a channel per family. So one thing to call out here is we will put the type of meal train in the name of the channel. So outreach versus community. So if you're talking about an outreach meal train, that's saying that this family is not connected to substance, is not connected to foster one, and we are representing the power of community with the goal of trying to get them plugged into community. Versus a community meal train is somebody who's already connected, and the whole goal and objective of that meal train is just to bless them. So, a quick note on prioritization: when in doubt, if we have multiple meal trains that have been posted, serve the outreach meal trains first. The community ones are bonus, but it is very important and imperative that we are hitting our goals first on our outreach meal trains. In the context of the spokes I was talking about, so each one of these spaces are collaborative in nature and serve as a point of communication. When we look at the general channel up here, you're going to see different apps and different tabs. And the mobile view looks a little bit different than the computer view, which what we are looking at right now is the computer view. But at the top, even regardless of the view you're looking at, you're going to find these tabs. On the mobile view, you're going to find like a add more options, like the three ellipse, I think is what it looks like. And you will click that three ellipse, and then you're going to be able to see these other tabs. And I'm just going to call this out. I'm not actually going to click it because we have real names in this particular we have active meal train names going. But here in the general channel, this is a succinct way to see all of the meal trains with all of the links and when they expire. So if instead of clicking to all of the different places to find links or information about the meal trains, you can come here and that's going to be your one-stop shop. Then if we look at the next channel, something you're going to see is a channel, or I'm so sorry, a tab at the top of the channel that is care training. So right now our training video library is kind of small, but when this pops up, what you're going to see is a list of training videos that you can access. So if you forget to do something or forget how to do something, it's going to be a space where you can come back and refresh yourself over time. Within our meal trains, we have, like I said, it's going to be a space to talk specifically about a singular family. So within this, as we serve families, we come across personal and private information. And the reason we're putting all of the family specific information within their channel is eventually these channels get deleted and that information no longer becomes accessible. So when we look at the channel specifically for the family, you'll see the name, you'll see when it's currently set to expire, the type of meal train, and then the first tab is post, just like the other one, so you can always do a thread within here. The second tab is files, and that is a space where we will put the family profile. The next tab is a meal train. So when we look at this specific meal train, there's a grid view and a board view. And so if we look at what we actually have to do for this specific meal train, that is essentially the comprehensive list of things that we have to do for the full life cycle. The people that will really probably care about this tab are going to be care mentors, care coordinators, and any other care assigned duties as more people get involved with logistics on the launch of these meal trains. That will help coordinate. You'll see the active progress. And even if you're curious about what's going on with the meal train or who's up and what communication is planned next, that is where you would go. So the last and final note that I will have is that this is a really quick hit on the technology that we will be using for care, for the care team and meal train coordination. So if you have any questions, you always are encouraged to reach out and let us know. And you can even post questions within our channel that's designated for that. But also, I am happy to take questions directly.